Hello again. It's finally stopped raining here in Southern California, so I'm out for a walk over at the park. But I gotta drive there. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about right now is enlightenment and how incredible it is. And first, before I talk about how great it is, I just want to talk about the incredulity factor. Because I've told my husband, I've told a friend about this, and they're like, and I mean, it's like winning the lottery in a way. It really is kind of like winning the lottery, but it's like psychologically winning the lottery. And nobody gets excited about some guy like in Arkansas, apparently. Somebody won the $1.7 billion Powerball lottery. I know for sure I wasn't excited about that guy winning the $1.7 billion lottery when the likelihood that I'll be able to get a jackpot like that, or even a fraction of that, it's like the odds are so low that I'm not going to get excited about it. And I know for one thing is there's this idea that enlightenment is some kind of an exalted state, that it's an exalted experience or state, and it sounds grandiose to say that enlightenment has happened here. And I know, I get it. Because the Western view, first of all, the Western view of enlightenment, and even a lot of the Eastern view of enlightenment, is that it's like the Highlander. There can only be one, and once that enlightenment has happened, everything. In fact, I listened to this talk on Sam Harris's podcast between this Buddhist monk / Harvard professor, and they were talking about enlightenment. And Sam asked him, well, what about a permanent state of enlightenment? And the professor asked, and he answered, he said, oh, I don't think there's any such thing as a permanent state of enlightenment where somebody has all the answers. I'm like, what? What does having all the answers have to do with a permanent state of enlightenment? But he has this concept of enlightenment that it's this grandiose state. Whereas it's actually, as I envision it, it's not like at the top of a pyramid. It's actually at the bottom of an inverted pyramid. Well, that's another story altogether. But the thing of it is my searching for enlightenment. That's another problem. Is the whole incredulity thing of enlightenment? Is that to get the enlightenment bug where you actually devote your life, the first, second, third, and fourth thing, on your mind is enlightenment. At least that's how it seemed like for me. It's not something you can do. You don't have the power to choose that. I certainly didn't choose it. It found me. And as Ramana said, your head is in the tiger's mouth, the jaws are closed, and who knows where this will lead. Something of that sort. And The thing of it is the Enlightenment, that it happened to this body-mind mechanism, that it saw through dualism. How does that help anyone else? I mean, I know I probably, like, in some sort of causal way, it probably helps because there's less ignorance in the world. But really, all the benefits are here in this body mind, but no more worry, not having worry. There's still fear, recurring fear, intense recurring fear, hypnotic fear that will paralyze this organism. But this never takes that fear into the guts area and churn it around like a fucking rock tumbler. But that's what I used to do. That's what this used to do. That doesn't happen anymore, because the dualism that creates the dualism of the sense that consciousness is responsible for the operation of this being, this human being. Consciousness is responsible for that. That's the sense. And that creates this sense that we are trapped inside the body as a subject looking out to the world that's an object. Everything's objects out there. And that just creates this emptiness. And we have this neurotic need to fill that emptiness, and we'll fill it with anything. We'd rather have the good stuff, but if we don't have the good stuff, we'll take the bad stuff, and that causes this insane amount of suffering. And I have suffered with the best of them. Okay? And I was just fortunate in 2005 to have been given a gift of desperation following a waking and baking spell with cannabis. And there was a circuitous path that led to this calling. And it was genuinely a calling where, I was called to it. There's no way anybody could have, talked me into this. There's no way. Because I wasn't in charge of this. It happened to me, and I'm just so grateful for it. This is so grateful for it. Anyway, I'm here at the park. So, thanks for watching.